most of them are business owners, or a lot of them are, that are going to get the economy going. Why would you, your administration, your Congress, cripple the very people who can get us out of the hole? And and say that it's a charitable thing to give more.
Charitable, from a president that reduced tax deductions for charitable giving. How precious.
The Heritage Foundation puts out a thing called the Freedom Index, and it turns out that the countries that are the freest, meaning they have the least amount of regulation and all that kind of thing, are actually the most prosperous.
What a shock.
But just this last year, the United States has been changed from freest to mostly free. And so that would be indicated there's a problem. Do you know who Star Parker is? You ever heard of her?
No.
She's a gal, she's running for Congress in California.
The government has the power to give you anything you want, has the power to take away everything you have. That's what we have now. They don't hand out a dime without those government strings attached to it. We get it all the time now. They're paying for something with our money. It's the greatest ruse in history, that they take our money and then act as if they're paying for something and then tell you what to do with it.
And yet they didn't do that with the banks. You know, the Great Depression, they say it was made so bad by the banks hoarding the money. So we start into this depression. What do? They give all the money to the banks to hoard again.
Bailed out Wall Street, bailed out the banks, and the rest of us are just kind of here.
Yeah, talking about the bailout, I don't know, there was an article in the Tucson newspaper that says economists laud expiring bank bailout. Under the latest thing, it looks like even the most conservative estimate, it's only going to cost us $66 billion. And under the Treasury, $50 billion. There have been a dozen books out that say if that hadn't been done, we would have gone into a depression and we would have had 20–25% unemployment. I got the impression that if that bill had come up before you would have voted against it.
I'm glad you got that impression.
Based on what we know today, would you still vote against it, and chance that we're going to have a depression in 20–25% unemployment?
Yes,
Okay.
absolutely.
And
I would vote against
how do you support, what would you have done to avoid that?
Well, you give loans for 30 years, and people that can't afford it, you don't get rewarded with my son's tax dollars. My newly born son's tax dollars.
That's not the issue.
Oh, it very much is the issue.
No,
because we're not only taking money that we have now, we're taking the money for the next 4 or 5 generations to bail out banks, for politicians to dole out. That is not America. They don't have any right to do that.
Well,
I don't care how big you are or
What's your
how
solution?
dangerous they say it will be. You know what's going to put us in a depression? The government's going to put us in a depression, because it wasn't the banks that put us $14 trillion in debt. It was the government that did that.
Inflation.
That's right.
You wait and see.
That's right.
You wait and see.
Can I sort of ask him a question?
Yes, sir.
That's the answer.
The bailout for the bank gave a lot of money to the banks to take all these toxic loans and all that. Would it have cost less to help the individual taxpayer keep their home than it would have cost the banks?
Actually, no.
And
It would
why
have cost
not?
us. It would have cost us over $1 trillion to do.
And how much did we spend on TARP?
It's going to. It looks like we're going to have 50 or 60.
How much have we spent on TARP? 80 trillion. A lot of it would have been. I think it would have probably been about the same.
TARP was
$700
billion. 650. That's going to be paid back.
Long before all this started, and they first brought up bailing out anything, I told my wife, $50,000 to every tax-paying couple that has a mortgage to lower their bills would put the economy back on a good road. And basically what you're saying is the same thing, except the individual never got any money.
Never got it done. If you want to stimulate an economy, you want to do something radical in the economy, all non-essential spending immediately frozen, and every single American given a moratorium on taxes. All of a sudden you get your whole check. That's what would have been radical. Not stealing more from us. And like I said, they always make everything about the kids. It is about the kids now. My infant son will spend his whole life paying off what they've done in the last year. His whole life. Is that fair? Is that fair to you?
No,
It's not. To take them from one and give to another is not fair by force. It's called thievery. And when the government does it, it's called liberalism. And it's disgusting. Under any party, it's disgusting.
These statistics are so manipulative, and